Pandemic recovery is boosting job growth, raising revenues, and bringing down deficits.
I don't want to hear Republicans talk about deficits and their ultra MAGA agenda. I want to hear about fairness. I want to hear about decency. I want to hear about helping ordinary people.
In remarks here at the White House, the president singled out plans from Florida Republican Rick Scott and pressed for Democratic-backed legislation to raise taxes on corporations and the wealthy. Inflation and bringing down costs is likely to be a top issue for voters in the fall.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Republicans say the president's policies have helped fuel inflation and that his plans will fuel more. An hour from now, the Fed makes its latest move on inflation, potentially announcing the biggest interest rate hike in more than 2 decades. The immigration debate fires back up again on Capitol Hill during the latest hearing on the Homeland Security budget.
As a whole, the budget seems to focus more on climate change and a vague equity agenda while making the current border crisis worse.
West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito, the committee's top Republican, Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy.
Many of my Republican colleagues, and I frankly don't put the ranking member in this category, simply see the issue of immigration as a political cudgel. They see immigrants as political opportunities to be cast as threats.
This is Homeland Security Chief Alejandro Mayorkas insists again the border has been effectively managed and that the administration is preparing for the end of a COVID policy that turns away many asylum seekers. President Biden not ruling out more sanctions on Russia over the war in Ukraine. The European Union now has a proposed ban on oil imports in Ukraine. Russia continues its attacks in the east and the west. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it dry this afternoon, but the clouds continue to dominate. Nothing more than a little peekaboo sunshine. 69-70 for the high. Here comes more rain and a couple of thunderstorms, especially after midnight tonight. 55. Keep the showers and some thunderstorms going Thursday. 75 on Thursday. Still wet Thursday night and into Friday morning, but the weekend looks dry. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Tonight, even if you don't have a spot reserved for the Heritage Foundation's event with us at 97.1, you can still stream it and be there from home. Follow 97.1 on the socials, and we'll go live at 7 tonight. And for info, go to 971talk.com/events.
This is Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing you there virtually tonight with Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky and 97.1 FM Talk.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feed store.
Hi, This is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
Menards has what you need to grow the perfect lawn. Right now, save 11% on everything. Clear your patio and driveway of weeds and grasses with Spectracide Weed and Grass Killer Concentrate. This easy-to-mix formula acts fast with visible results within 3 hours of application. It's just $11.99 after 11% rebate. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through May 8th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Leaving a child in a hot vehicle can lead to their death very quickly. Set cell phone reminders or place something you'll need in the back seat so you don't forget your child is in the car. Look for your baby before you lock. Brought to you by NHTSA.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to The Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Audacy.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Audacy app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
If you listen to the rest of that clip, he goes on to say MAGA like 800 times. It's the weirdest thing ever. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show, the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history. Are you freaking kidding me, President Biden? I mean, I know you don't believe that. I know you need it to be true. We know you need it to be true. And it's funny to me, when Make America Great Again came on the scene with a candidate, candidate Donald Trump in 2016, and we were coming off of 8 years of Joe Biden's vice presidency, you happen to be President Obama's presidency, of course. The thought of what needed to be made great again, dude, President Biden all went and hold my beer on that. You want to talk about making America great again? You want to talk about the laundry list of things that are an absolute disaster right now, where President Obama, what he handed President Trump, what this administration has done to the economy, to the border, to the American prestige on the global scale when it comes to what Russia has been emboldened to do, to education, to confidence that parents can have in their ability to turn their children over to the public education system, to the confidence that communities can have that their police are going to be well funded and taken care of so that they can take care of the communities. Let's go through the list. Let's talk about extreme political organizations. This should make you mad, but at this point, I think you have to laugh because I think we're at the point where the alternative is crying. Such a bizarre thing to say outside of the context of we've got an election coming up and we need to shore up every vote we possibly can. It's what makes sense. It's what you know to be true. It's what I know to be true. And I mean, honestly, when he says something like that, like if you're not particularly, like if you don't walk around identifying yourself as, well, I'm MAGA. I mean, I know a few people who speak that way. And they're probably listening right now and they know that I know that they call themselves MAGA. And I mean, I'm not a non-Trump person. If Donald Trump runs for president in 2024, he's got my vote. No problem. Do I think that that's what's best going forward right now? I think Ron DeSantis is the best option going forward for the entirety of the country, of the ability to move forward with a conservative agenda that Donald Trump has already had so much success executing in this country and would again if he were to be president. But there's just a lot of extra noise. It's just like traveling with somebody who carries a lot of extra bags. People call it baggage. There's just a lot of extra baggage. Would it be better than Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or any of the other yahoos that they could put up to run against that Republican nominee? Oh my gosh, yes, easily. Twice on Sunday. Especially if you're a Democrat voting in the state of Illinois. Suggesting that the MAGA crowd is the most extreme political organization is a great way for President Biden to make those people who are like me, who are like, I believe that the MAGA plan in the Trump administration was wonderful for the country. I think it bore fruit on a regular basis and is still doing things. If Joe Biden hasn't been able to get his fingers on the pen to executive order out the things that Donald Trump was successful in doing, the tax reform that the president led through with his Republican Congress, I think has been fantastic for this country. We talk to Stephen Moore every Monday, who helped Donald Trump put together his economic plan, and it was fantastic for the country. Funny. And in a terribly not haha kind of way. When we talk to the experts on our show, Stephen Moore with FreedomWorks, Jim Carafano on Tuesdays with the Heritage Foundation, when we go to these people, Deroy Murdock is going to be on with us today. He's our Wednesday guest. And you look at all the problems that are plaguing this country right now, and it's like, gosh, what could we possibly do? What could we possibly do to fix this? Everything's in free fall. It's like, just put it back. So we made America great again. And now it's like, put it back. Put it back. Put everything back the way you found it, which is what I yell at my children when I'm trying to get them to clean their rooms. Just put it all back. I had everything nice and neat and organized in pretty little color-coded cubbies that the Closet Factory helped me organize in their rooms. Everything was nice and neat and tidy. Put it all back. I know that it was fun getting it all out. And I know that it was fun playing with all the toys and getting everything into the middle of the room. And it got a little messy, but hey, it was fun. It was wild. It was crazy. Put it back. Put it back now. I can't handle it. Can't live like this. I think that's the way a lot of Americans are feeling. And if you want to talk, if the president of the United States right now, if President Biden wants to come on the scene and start talking about how the MAGA crowd is the most extreme political organization, not like currently, ladies and gentlemen, which we can say here on the Annie Frey Show, ladies and gentlemen, in American history, you got to like draw that out because there should be an echo when I say that, because that's a long amount of time. That's a big time frame. That's a big, a huge statement by the president of the United States about the MAGA crowd. And I got to say, President Biden, I wouldn't have necessarily said that I'm like I don't have a MAGA flag flying in the front of my house, but I kind of want to go get one now. When I listen to what you say, when I listen to how you label people, one could call it a basket of deplorables. You look back at the things that some of these politicians have said during campaign seasons, which we are in right now. You want to label people this? Join them.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
I'm not 100% sure. Was he referring to Roe v. Wade? Was that what this was like? The first part of his statement is.
Yeah, it was the leaked draft, and he was speculating on whether or not.
So just for a second here, because I just like glazed over the first part of that, but I have to. I'm just Annie, just calm down, relax. Okay, I'm back. When you listen to the front part of that clip there, he is equating the ending of, I don't know what would be the word. Oh yeah, he used the word child yesterday. So we'll use his language. The ending of the life of a child that a mother is carrying inside of her womb he's equating that to the possibility that we might want to keep gay kids in separate classrooms than straight kids. Nobody is asking for that. And it's really funny to me that the Democrats, the president of the United States, is the one showing up on the scene now going, oh, but that's slippery slope. You never know where it's going to go. Hello? McFly. I have to say McFly. I say that like that. You're familiar.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. I understand.
It's absolutely absurd. It's absurd. It is absurdity, folks. And we all know it. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. Hopefully, I'm saying what's been going on and rolling around in your brain for a while, and you're glad to hear somebody saying it out loud. But the idea that abortion is equitable to and likely to lead to Republicans finally getting their way and segregating LGBTQ kids from heterosexual kids. Stop it. Just stop. Put it back. Clean up the room. Put it back. Put it back. Man, they come up with some real catchy phrases that always start with hey, hey, ho, ho. Why is that? Why hey, hey, ho, ho?
Because the ho ho rhymes with stuff.
Something's got to go.
Yeah.
And if they're really catchy, there's always like a little extra beat in there that the really extra good protesters can do. You probably have to take a class to get that extra syllable in the hey, hey, ho, ho. Something's got to go. I was in a restaurant last night because my daughter's 6th birthday was yesterday. And I'm not going to tell you what restaurant I was in. The Cardinals were playing. The St. Louis Cardinals were playing. And the restaurant I was in was a grill and bar. There are TVs everywhere. And the Cardinals game in the bar area, there were 2, 4, 6, 7, I would say maybe 7, 8 televisions, at least 2 on all 4 quadrants of said bar. And I think, well, I couldn't see the ones who were because we weren't sitting in the bar section. I couldn't see the ones that were facing away from where we were, but I could see the rest of them. And I think maybe 2 of the televisions had the Cardinals game on. And my husband asked the person, what do you call the host? Hey, could we get the St. Louis Cardinals game on here? And he goes, which game? And my husband's like, the Cardinals baseball game. And he goes, okay. And then he walked away. And the TV's never changed. So we didn't get to watch the game, but we were there for my daughter's 6th birthday, so fine. You know what was on the TVs? One was the golf channel. There's no golf tournament going on right now, right? I'm certain it was
not at 6.
No, it was later than that. It was 7:30.
No.
I'm like, it's not even daytime. And that right there looks like daytime. And so there's golf, which maybe somebody in there was like, hey, I'd really like to watch the golf channel. Except for there might have been maybe 2 people in the entire bar. The other TV was on CNN. And I was sitting there enjoying my daughter's birthday dinner, and the TV right in front of me was on CNN. So that's the most CNN I've watched in a long time consecutively. But just the meltdowns that are taking place right now across this country, And it almost makes me sad because the people who are melting down on the whole are largely uninformed, overly emotional people. And I look at it and I go, it really doesn't have to be this way. I understand that you're hurt. I understand that you're scared. I understand that there have been a really, from your side of it, an unfortunate series of events here, and the hits just keep on coming. I mean, that's what 21 felt like for a lot of the people on the other side of the aisle, on our side. I understand that this is a difficult time right now, but sit down and let me talk to you for a minute about what we're freaking out about. Let's discuss this, because the amount of emotion that is pouring out of these individuals in such a public display is not mature, it's not educated, and it's really not helpful. And I see these people and I think, what is going to hit these people and make them go, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't get that. Because they're young. They're like 22 or something like that. And they've probably spent their entire lives being fed the idea that Roe v. Wade is gospel, that Republicans are extremists, that the idea that anything that is conservative, that is Republican leaning is evil. This is what these people have been taught their entire lives, and they may never, ever, ever hear anything different. And when you look at the people who control the narrative, when you look at people like CNN in the nondescript bar and grill that I was in last night, and I think about the people who are just who put CNN on in a bar and grill? What's wrong with this picture? Maybe that's why there wasn't anybody in there. And you know that this is the type of exposure that people have to information and have had to information at that point in life, maybe for the entirety of their life. We got to figure out a way, and it may not be possible, but I'm willing to try to expose these people to the possibility that what they've been told is a lie. And it's a lie that has been told to them because somebody else needed their brains and their hearts so that somebody else could retain power. That's a big problem. I don't know how to cut through it, but we're going to try. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, more Annie Frey Show in a minute. At 1 o'clock, Deroy Murdock is on. He's going to talk about the Dinesh D'Souza movie that's out. And that's going to be on 97.1 FM Talk on the air and the Audacy app. Probably only. We're going to continue to stream on our streaming platforms, but you won't have any sound because they likely won't let us. And I'm not going to not do this stuff because they won't let us. We're going to do it anyway. We just won't do it there. We'll do it here where we feel the most comfy and cozy on the radio. So stick around for that. And I would love to get your vote in the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Abortion should be legal up to which point? Until birth, until 24 weeks, which is considered viability. First trimester only, or never, or only in extenuating circumstances. Again, I only get 4 options, so I combine those last 2. Back in a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You are your foe, your friend. You are the paparazzi. You are the tragedy. And the world's a crazy.
Tonight, even if you don't have a spot reserved for the Heritage Foundation's event with us at 97.1, you can still stream it and be there from home. Follow 97.1 on the socials, and we'll go live at 7 tonight. Looking forward to seeing you there virtually tonight.
So let's talk about the Closet Factory, and I'm just kind of like ranting in a weird way about how the Closet Factory helped me have a place for everything. But of course, for kids, things don't always stay in their place. It is nice, though, that when the Closet Factory came in and helped me with my kids' closet, 4 kids, 3 closets, 3 of them girls, what am I supposed to do? That's literally what I said to Candace when she came to my home and helped me plan this out. I'm just like, help. I need help. And she did. She made us different sections in the biggest closet that the kids have so that each kid has their own space. And she helped give my older daughter, a place to organize a bunch of things that got stuff that was sitting out in the room stuck in a place where it belongs, in the closet. It was a great solution for my family, but they can also come in and help you do a bunch of other things. I'm going to have them come to my house soon. I'm going to contact Candace again and invite her back out because she's the sweetest. And I'm going to talk about a couple areas in my house. One of them is my garage and, giving my husband the opportunity to have all of his stuff that's out there where he wants it, but in a way that makes a whole lot of sense. And the other one is the basement so that we can have our entertainment space with all of the stuff that comes with kids or, yes, grandkids. Have a place where it gets put away, just like in their bedrooms. And I trust the Closet Factory to come to my house and do that for me. 314-961-4300, 314-961-4300, closetfactory.com.
Are you frustrated and just want a service company to solve all your ongoing water leaks around your chimney the first time? English Sweep Full Service Company has been solving chimney issues for 40 years. Go to EnglishSweep.com. Get back to the important things in life. EnglishSweep.com.
Hi, this is Andy Berg, board-certified master arborist with Hanson's Tree Service. The cool, wet weather of spring creates the perfect conditions for leaf diseases in the landscape, which may lead to health concerns. Go to hansonstree.com to find out how we can service your trees today.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Introducing EarLens, a new approach to the treatment of hearing loss that uses a tiny custom-fit lens to gently vibrate the eardrum without surgery. That means EarLens gives you 2.5 times the audible bandwidth of traditional hearing aids for dramatically better speech understanding. EarLens may result in improved hearing, even in noisy listening situations. To learn more, go to earlens.com today. That's EARLENS.com and register for a free virtual consultation. That's earlens.com.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. The real estate market is as hot as the center of a freshly cooked toasted ravioli, making this a great time to use the equity in your home for a cash-out refinance, to upgrade your outdated kitchen, or consolidate your high-interest credit card debt, saving hundreds each month. If you're in the market to purchase a new home, don't trust your loan to an out-of-state call center or online lender. Call me. Call Michael Mohan at 314-336-6050. I want to save you money on your home purchase, refinance, or debt consolidation, and put my 20 years of local loan experience to work for you. When you call, you'll speak to me, and I will tailor a loan to fit your needs. So call 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224-143, NMLS 250353.
It's time for an $89 AC tune-up.
GoPublic.com.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You damn right I got the blues. From my head down to my shoes. You damn right I got the blues. From my head down to my shoes.
But when I think about what else the president could do, one option could be through the federal, through the Food and Drug Administration. The president could have the FDA issue regulations to expand access to medication abortion. We need to bring that back into the conversation so that pregnant people could have access to a 2-pill regimen safely and be able to end a pregnancy at home up to 10 weeks. What about the Department of Health and Human Services encouraging states to use their own Medicaid funds, of course, which are not governed by the Hyde Amendment? Use that to cover abortion services. So there are options. We need to talk about all of them.
Cori Bush, everybody, that's sitting here in St. Louis City, and Cori Bush represents this place. And it's really sad to hear. It's really sad to hear the thoughts, the mentality. And you got the question you got to ask, the question that I would like to ask Cori Bush. We've asked her to be on the show. Brad, let's ask her to be on the show again. Her people respond to us, and so we know that they get our communication and there's never anything past that, but we'll keep asking. The thing I want to know from Cori Bush is it a baby? It's that simple. What you're talking about there, is it a baby? She's talking about abortion access up to 10 weeks at one point. Is it a baby at 10 weeks? Maybe she doesn't think it is a baby at 10 weeks. Okay, well, we can have that conversation. Is it a baby at 24 weeks? What do you think, Cori Bush? Let me know. I would love to talk to you about that. I won't even be combative with you. I just want to know where you are, because I would like to know if you think that it's a baby at conception, but you just think it's expendable. Or if you think that it isn't a baby until a certain point. And if you think it's at a certain point, just tell me when that point is. Tell me when the growing clump of cells turns into a human life. And then can you abort that? I'd like to know. Kamala Harris continues to just woo people with her ways.
Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women. Well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms?
It's probably supposed to be Kamala's moment to shine. This is probably why you have Kamala Harris in the vice presidency, for moments like this where she can shine. Kamala, I have the same question for you, Madam Vice President, as I do for Representative Bush. I understand what you're talking about, the woman, and you won't find anybody who cares more in that moment about that woman than I do. And I try to advocate for people to be compassionate to the woman in that situation, because that is the pathway to saving the lives of these babies. It's not about putting the weight of the world on the shoulders of this woman. What we do have to consider here when we're discussing this issue is, what are we talking about? Like, what are the actual agreeable facts? Madam Vice President, what facts can we agree about what we are aborting? Is it a life? Is it, as the President of the United States said yesterday, a child? Is it just a clump of cells? When does it magically become a human life? Those are the questions that we have to answer, because then the question is, how do we balance what's good and right for the woman with what's good and right for the child? First, we have to agree on whether or not it's a child. And if you disagree that it's a child, that it's not a child, if you think that it is not a human life, you need to say that. I have a feeling they won't, because obviously, scientifically, you can very much so prove that it is human life. The inconvenience of pregnancy, and I will tell you this, as somebody told me, I got to read this just straight from, where's my phone? This made me laugh out loud, and I've talked about it multiple times since. A listener, I think it was Tom, asked if I was in Dick's Sporting Goods this past weekend. This is a message to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. And it just said, were you in Dick's Saturday afternoon in Fairview? And I said, not me. He said, look like a generic version of your family. Bearded guy, dozens of kids. Dozens? Come on, that's
dozens of
fake
kids.
news. There are only 4 that I know of.
She drives a minivan, not a full-size van.
No kidding. And just one. We do not have a fleet. Dozens of kids. What is it? You go from 3 to 4 and people literally think that you just have more children than you even know exist.
I can't
just
explain
4.
it.
I mean, if your parents didn't have 4 kids in their family, I bet your grandparents did.
We had 7 on each side of my parents.
Catholics?
What?
Were they Catholics?
My dad's side was.
yeah. Jared's side too. I have 4 children. I do not have dozens. If we're going to talk with the vice president about what exists and when it exists, then we can start talking about what to do with it. The potential for Roe v. Wade to be overturned, which is more possible today than it's ever been in my lifetime, based on the leak that Politico published of Justice Alito's written ruling on it. I guess he wrote the majority opinion on it. Now we're going to have to talk about what we are talking about, because before it was just like Roe's the law of the land. If that's not the case anymore, we're about to have some tough conversations. And the reason why people like Cori Bush and the reason why Vice President Harris and Joe Biden, although he slipped up yesterday and called it a child, whoopsie, the reason why they only ever talk about the woman is because they can't possibly engage in the conversation that exists about what's actually happening here. The fact that there's a child involved that they celebrate, of course, if it's one that's wanted. If Kamala Harris has a family member who's expecting a baby, is that a joyous occasion? Of course it is. Of course it is. Because that child is wanted. The party that's supposed to fight for the underprivileged, what greater privilege exists on the face of the planet than the privilege of being born? And the party that decides that some of these lives are expendable simply because of the inconvenience, and I'm not saying it's not an inconvenience, folks. 4 kids, dozens, can be incredibly inconvenient at times. It's not easy. It's not easy to carry a child. It's not easy to raise a child. None of that has anything to do with that child's right to live. None of it. No inconvenience to a mother, to a father, to a pocketbook, to a future, to a career. All of those are inconveniences. I agree with you on that. But none of them can devalue the human life that exists in a woman's womb during a pregnancy to the point where that life becomes expendable. It's just not. Period. Doesn't matter how that baby got there. Doesn't matter what kind of life it's going to be born into. Life has value or it doesn't. And it does. You know this. I know this. Everybody knows this. Men know this. Women know this. You know how it's so obvious that this is so important to the Democratic Party's cause? Because here we have Kamala Harris really getting worked up about people telling women what to do. Not birthing people. Women. Now they're women again. I feel like I could be like, checks notes. We were just here. This just happened. I believe they're birthing people. Who's Kamala Harris to determine what women qualify for women's rights? What kind of biologist is Kamala Harris? Well, it's once again back to absurd. It's just a constant repeat endeavor of just looking right and looking left and going, anybody else think this is kind of out of control? What is going on? Like, you're just looking to lock eyes with somebody where they go, I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? You're just looking for somebody to go, this is nuts, right? This is absurd. We're living in a crazy world. And if enough people start looking at each other going, Yeah, this is nuts. You think this is nuts? I think this is nuts. I've been thinking it's been nuts for a long time. As soon as enough people start doing that, they're in big trouble. Big, big trouble. And I think it started happening. It started happening from the classroom. It started happening in COVID. It started happening when you go to make simple purchases at the grocery store and you're like, holy crap, look how expensive everything is right after you filled up at the gas tank. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how expensive this is. I saw $6 diesel yesterday. Unbelievable in Illinois. $6. What has been put in place that's going to make any of this reverse course? I don't know. Maybe we should make America great again. But that would make me a member of the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history. Gosh, I can think of some other ones, like the KKK was pretty much by Democrats, and some of them were in Congress. But I mean, that was they hanged people. It's absurdity. It's ludicrous. And if you try to argue against this with these kind of people, it's not going to get anywhere. It's not all you're going to do is be hitting your head repeatedly into the brick wall, and the brick wall does not feel pain. Never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Teacher told me that in high school, and I've never forgot it. This is certainly the case. Don't wrestle with the pig. Go find the people who aren't looking to mud wrestle, who are looking to try to just live their lives, and talk to them, because you're probably on the same page. Quick break here. Wiggins America. When we return, I have no idea what he's going to talk about. He did not tell us anything. Did he?
He did just finally send us something.
Oh, while I was on the air?
Yes.
What did he say?
It is. I got to get back to my messages from Ryan. It is a New York Post article. CDC bought cell phone data to track vaccination lockdowns.
Interesting. I guess we'll find out what that's all about from Wiggins when we come back. Plus the YouTube live chat poll. Abortion should be legal up to which point? You need to go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel to vote. The poll is in the live chat box that's right there. Abortion should be legal up to which point? Until birth, until 24 weeks, which is considered viability. First trimester only, or never / only extenuating circumstances. Wiggins America in a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show. The Mark Reardon Show.
Congresswoman Ann Wagner. There will be an investigation. Chief Justice Roberts is moving forward on that. It's a very limited number of people who had access to this draft.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
When you want to make sure that your house is put into the proper hands in order to sell top dollar and quickly, you got to call Jen Teskey. If you're looking to sell your home on the Illinois side of the river, if you're looking to purchase one as well, Jen Teskey is the solution. She is a realtor with RE/MAX Alliance, and she's the very best. Jen Teskey has been super successful in selling homes on the Illinois side of the river, especially in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Troy, and Collinsville, that area. When you reach out to Jen Teskey, she is going to set you up with all of her resources, which includes her amazing staff that helps her look around every corner and every nook and every cranny and make sure that your home is prepared to sell for top dollar. If you're looking to sell your home within the next year, you can reach out to Jen Teskey and get prepared, get your home ready, figure out the things that you need to focus on improving, and don't waste any money or time improving things that you don't need to waste time improving. Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance. Here's the number you can call or text her and just say, hey, Annie mentioned your name. I'd like to know more information. This is the number. Put it in your phone. 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010.
Wealth changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring all aspects of your wealth are working harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face to face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional. Lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
Hi, this is Ken. And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals. If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Up to the minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
If you change your mind, take a chance. I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go when you're feeling down. If you're all alone,
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
very best, and it ain't no lie. If you put me to the test, and you let me try, take a chance on me. That's all I ask you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Reminder on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you can check out the poll that we got going right now. Abortion should be legal up to which point? Until birth, until 24 weeks, which is considered viability. First trimester only, or never. Only in extenuating circumstances. Those are that last option is together. And a reminder that we're going to have Deroy Murdock on here at 1:05. You need to tune in. If you're watching us on the live stream, that's fantastic. But we're going to talk about Dinesh D'Souza's new movie. And so we're going to not air it on the live stream. We're going to keep the live stream going. You're just not going to be able to hear it. Go to the Audacy app or just listen on your radio, 97.1 FM Talk. Of course, the Audacy app, we are streaming live 24/7 on 97.1 FM Talk. And the social media censors can't keep us down. We're going to continue to do these stories. We're just not going to do them on their platforms. Meanwhile, Wiggins America.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! All right, here's the deal. The CDC, it was revealed by Vice and several others. CDC used location data from tens of millions of Americans' phones to track compliance with lockdown orders and vaccination efforts, according to these new documents. The CDC specifically monitored America's visits to churches and schools, as well as detailed accounts of visits to participating pharmacies for vaccine monitoring. The CDC.
What documents? Like what I understand this is from the New York Post reporting it, but what documents and who acquired them?
So Vice acquired these documents, and I think it was based on their expense reports because they paid $420,000 for this data.
Vice?
Well, no, Vice didn't. The CDC paid for the cell phone data. Vice asked for expense reports. That's how they got the reports. So my question for you is...
I don't understand that. Do you understand that, Brad? Like, I don't understand. The CDC was tracking cell phones.
Yes.
Who found this out?
So the CDC itself is the Center for Disease Control doesn't have the ability to do tech monitoring. So they outsourced it. They paid outside firms for cell phone collection data to monitor Americans' movements during lockdowns.
And who discovered this?
So Vice,
which is a media company.
Is a media company. They paid for the expense reports. They wanted to know how the CDC was spending its money. They found this within the expense reports.
So they FOIA'd it.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question for you is not how do you feel about this? Because I have a feeling that we're all going to be on the same side of this issue and be like, why are they tracking? Why is the CDC even allowed to track us? But if we're all sort of unified against this type of thing, my question is, are you okay with doing it when you add that this is the same type of data used when we're using our navigation apps in our cars?
I don't think that I'm not really surprised at all that they did that.
Really?
No.
Well, I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
I guess I'm not surprised. I just don't like it.
I understand that. I would be, the thing that would surprise me if the data had any sort of information with it that identified people. I'm sure that it didn't. That it's a blind collection of data. I think that what Google is doing on a daily basis with all of your explicit details is infinitely worse. Is it all bad? Yes. Have we turned over all of our information? Yes.
Yeah, I kind of am with you. That's
this is a crowd participation problem. It's you can't just go to the top and be like, I can't believe you're doing this. And like I mean, I'm on my phone right now. I've got 4 or 5 notifications from things that all know where I am when I'm there, what I buy, what I might like to buy. They know if you go into Facebook and you look at ads that are served to you in Facebook, and then there's a place where you can look at why ads were served to you. They will serve ads on Facebook to me 2-3 weeks before, knowing that I'm married to my husband and knowing his information. They know to send ads to me that target gifts I might want to buy for him. So they're not advertising to me. They're really advertising to him, but they know that the purchase is made through me. I mean, it's so far worse than this particular instance. This sucks. This is bad, of course. Also the question I have is, what are they using the information for? But when it comes to what people have on us and how willfully we've given that information up, I have, as somebody who worked in digital for 10 years before I did this, I have a very hard time getting super worked up about things when I know that I've given my information over. I handed it to you. I checked the terms of service without reading them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one to me is a matter of where you draw the line, because like you said, there are things that we're doing online at a given moment that they have way more specific detail on us than this. This one to me is right in where it gets blurry, where it's mass data. So it's not necessarily tracking you as an individual, but if they're using that, and this is where it's like, it gets a little bit hairy. Why is the CDC doing this, and what are they going to do with it?
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it that you're being tracked, or is it who's tracking you that bothers you really the most?
It's who's tracking me. Why is the CDC
so
tracking
like
me?
For me, for this, it's like kind of like I wouldn't expect the CDC to do something else, because it wasn't active tracking, right? This is after the fact tracking.
Sort of. Like, I mean, it's kind of like population generalities.
Well, so they were looking at who was moving when we put these lockdowns in, and are they having an effect? Are people actually doing this? They weren't looking at them, and I get the impression that the CDC wasn't looking at them in the sense that let's go get these people who aren't obeying. They were looking at them in the sense is like, is this even worth doing? Because are people even listening to it? So they're like checking their homework, so to speak. And they didn't track them themselves. They bought the data from a source that I assume you or I, given enough money, could buy that data from.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
SafeGraph is the company that they were working for. I'm looking at the article right now, which is backed by tech billionaire Peter Thiel, who's your boy.
Oh, just because I mentioned him yesterday. I mentioned the guy one
I
time.
didn't know who he was.
And all of a
yesterday.
sudden, he's my boy.
And it says something here about Ryan Wiggins.
I'm in the article? Oh, my gosh. I should have read past the first paragraph.
The last sentence says this was all Wiggins' idea.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
New York
it's
Post, I
crazy.
don't even remember saying that to them.
Been exposed,
They
Ryan.
you didn't say it to them. You said it in your phone.
Oh, and Peter
Saw it.
Thiel saw that I talked about him in my phone yesterday.
Ryan's big brother.
This is okay. Just really quick. This to me is one of those violations of just the fact that we have agencies doing this. We don't need so many agencies with so much data on us, down to are you visiting your neighbors? Because that's where this got. I mean, that's pretty specific.
We're giving it up, though.
Is that part of it? Is it like
if you have
a phone, you just got to deal with it?
If you have a phone and you have your location services on, you can read in there what they're going to do with that. Turn it off.
That's what you're signing when you sign those end user license agreements. You're giving them permission.
Yeah. That's why this is a tricky issue, because I still don't like it, even though I probably clicked that button.
I don't like it either,
Yeah.
but this is the world we live in right now. And I mean, the things that people are doing with your information, I know it's weird to say it, but it's way worse than this.
Yeah. no, that's
way
true.
worse than this. And it's probably going to get way worse than that. So anyway, Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky in studio in the next hour. Don't go away.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Audacy station.
Official countdown in Ukraine. Elisa Brady, Fox News. 5 days from now, May 9th, known as Victory Day in Russia, marking the Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany in 1945. Western intelligence officials think Russia may be planning something for that day in Ukraine, possibly a celebration in the devastated city of Mariupol. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky telling Fox News through a translator.
There will be a parade, and this is that city, and he's going to show some sort of victory, but they don't have victories. The loss of people, it's not a victory.
Also saying he agrees with the UN Secretary General that the UN Security Council didn't do enough to prevent the Russian invasion. Today, Russia is bombing rail stations and other supply lines for Western weapons in Ukraine as the EU proposes a ban on Russian oil imports. President Biden reassuring Americans again he's focusing on one of their top concerns, inflation. He says bringing down the deficit can help.
All the talk about the deficit from my Republican friends, I love it. I've reduced it $350 billion in my first year in office.
Pushing back on GOP criticism that his policies are fueling inflation. A Fox News alert, the Fed just raising its benchmark interest rate by 0.5%, the biggest hike in more than 2 decades, aimed at cooling high inflation. It is double their typical quarter-point hike. A judge in Arizona rules that a death row inmate is mentally fit to be put to death.
A county superior court judge turned aside claims that Clarence Dixon's mental state keeps him from understanding the death penalty he faces. Dixon was convicted for the murder of Arizona State University student Dina Bowden in 1978. Attorneys for Dixon say he is mentally unfit and by law cannot be put to death.
Fox's Garnell Scott, the defense plans to appeal to the state Supreme Court. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it dry this afternoon, but the clouds continue to dominate. Nothing more than a little peekaboo sunshine. 69-70 for the high. Here comes more rain and a couple of thunderstorms, especially after midnight tonight. 55. Keep the showers and some thunderstorms going Thursday. 75 on Thursday. Still wet Thursday night and into Friday morning, but the weekend looks dry. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Tonight, even if you don't have a spot reserved for the Heritage Foundation's event with us at 97.1, you can still stream it and be there from home. Follow 97.1 on the socials, and we'll go live at 7 tonight. And for info, go to 971talk.com/events.
This is Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing you there virtually tonight with Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky and 97.1 FM Talk.
I don't know if you ever looked in the mirror in the morning and thought, I could use a little work. Maybe your smile is not as white as you'd like it to be, or anything that makes you go, yeah, that could be better. Fountains Family Dentistry does that. They do cosmetic dentistry. And yeah, it's the big stuff, but it's all the way down to just teeth whitening, which is just completely normal these days. There's so many things that used to be faux pas, but now, everybody does this stuff. So if you need anything like that, make Fountains Family Dentistry your home office. You can get your teeth cleaned, do your general dentistry stuff there too. But then if you ever have an emergency, or if you're looking at dental implants, you're getting older, you need dentures, anything, root canals, oral cancer screenings, they do everything there at Fountains Family Dentistry. It's great to have a home base for anything involving your mouth, teeth, issues that you might have. Fountains Family Dentistry, Fairview Heights, Illinois, right off of Highway 64, easy to get to no matter where you are, especially if you're in Illinois. Right at the entrance to the Fountains Plaza next to Shogun. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
Joe Biden's weakness has emboldened our enemies. Now Vladimir Putin, Communist China, and Iran's mullahs are threatening our security. Where does Mary Miller stand? Mary Miller voted with AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Ilhan Omar to defund our military. That's right. Last year on December 7th, Mary Miller voted with the Socialist Squad to cut off funding for our heroes in uniform at a time when America's adversaries are on the march. Mary Miller can't be trusted. Fortunately, there are conservatives like Rodney Davis in Congress who support our military. Rodney Davis voted to increase the defense budget and give our troops a pay raise.
I'm Rodney Davis. I will always have the backs of our brave men and women in uniform. That's why I voted to strengthen our military, to keep America safe. I believe in peace through strength. I'm Rodney Davis. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rodney for Congress.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Camping season is here, and Apache Village RV Center's open house May 6th and 7th is the perfect time to shop RVs from Jayco, Keystone, and Fleetwood. Family owned and operated for over 40 years. Apache Village Open House will offer huge discounts to fit every budget, plus special giveaways, Barbecue Friday, and the local famous Pueblo Nuevo catering on Saturday. The Apache Village Open House, May 6th and 7th, located in Hazelwood.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Audacy app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Audacy app for 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this America.
There, folks. Now we're back on the stream here because they're going to be in studio with us. So you're going to get to see them in here. We're going to all talk about a whole array of issues. I'm going to ask them what they want to talk about, what they think is the biggest deal. Of course, the Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court leak, that all is at the top of my mind. So when we come back, we'll welcome Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky into the studio here with us here. And then tonight, that special evening with the Heritage Foundation, we're going to be streaming it live. So make sure you go subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. I think we're going to have it here. I know it's going to be on some of the 97.1 socials as well. So make sure you're connected with us. We'll be back with the folks from the Heritage Foundation in just a minute.
She held him up and he held her for ransom in the heart of the cold city.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Said it was cruel. They had one thing in common. They were good in bed. She'd say, faster, faster. The lights are turning red.
Tonight, even if you don't have a spot reserved for the Heritage Foundation's event with us at 97.1, you can still stream it and be there from home. Follow 97.1 on the socials, and we'll go live at 7 tonight. Looking forward to seeing you there virtually tonight.
Stewart's American Mortgage. He's the guy with the bagel loan. And why is he called a bagel loan? Because bagel looks like a zero. And when you go through the process of refinancing, you're going to pay zero in closing costs that all the other lenders out there are going to charge you for. And you get to do this because you go directly through Stewie. Now, I just heard them report that rates were going up. What did they say? A 0.25% or something. The Fed just raised rates again, like just now. This is brand new information. And while that might not immediately affect your mortgage rate access that you can have, it is going to affect things like credit card debt. Those rates that you're paying there, if you have debt like that, you might very well want to consider refinancing your home using the equity that's in your home to help pay down some of this high interest debt and get it under control. Your financial situation in the hands of Stewie, you're going to come out for the better. He'll work with you. He'll customize that solution for you. And the bagel loan is the best way to go about doing these refinances. It works for home purchases too. Here's what you do. Reach out to him, call him, or text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
Gentlemen, spring is here. Recapture your vitality with Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. They're going to make it easy for you because they get rid of the excuses. They've got a brand new location that brings them to 3 locations close to you, one in Wing Haven and O'Fallon, Missouri, the other one in Town and Country there near Clayton and 141, and the original location off Greenmount Road in O'Fallon, Illinois. Book your appointment today. Go online to victorymenshealth.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
In my shoes, my toes are busted. My kitchen says my bread is molded. I got a good job at the dollar store.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I'm faded, fat busted, been jaded, I've been dusted. I know that I've seen better days. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper. Crank it to 11, blow another speaker and I ain't got much to lose.
And I think it was, really an attack on a lot of the justices. I think it was an intentional thing to try to whip up a lot of the public, to try to make it very political, potentially try to bully them into changing one of their positions. And that is not something that's appropriate for the judicial branch. And so I know they launched an investigation. They need to figure out who did that, and they need to hold them accountable, because that's a real significant breach of trust. You want to talk about an insurrection, that's a judicial insurrection, to be taking that out and trying to kneecap a potential majority through kind of extra constitutional means. And so I was really surprised to see that.
That's Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida's governor, America's governor. And, he's talking about it being an insurrection. When I was reading all of this a couple nights ago, when the news broke, the Politico story came out, I just casually Googled insurrection, and I thought, it might be an insurrection, like a real one. Anyway, I digress. We've got guests in the studio, extremely special VIP guests in the studio. Hans von Spakovsky in the flesh, along with Jim Carafano. And then when I introduce him again, I have to do it in the reverse. Jim Carafano first, then Hans.
That's okay. Hans actually is the royalties, so he always has precedence.
But let me ask you first. I'm going to go to Hans about the whole SCOTUS leak. I want your legal thoughts, not on anything that has to do with Roe v. Wade.
Right.
Just the existence of the leak. How big of a deal is this?
Well, it's a very big deal. This is happened almost never in the history of the United States. Probably the closest thing that came to it actually was when Roe v. Wade came out. Apparently, the result of what was going to happen was leaked a couple of hours before New York Times, but actually leaking a draft opinion that one of the justices has circulated, that's never happened. It's a very serious matter. The person who did it, and it's not only unethical, it's a breach of the professional code of conduct for lawyers, and it's something that should get that person disbarred from ever practicing law.
Well, that would be good, because I don't think they need to be practicing law. But is it criminal?
Potentially so.
If somebody can find a crime.
Well, there's a federal statute. It's 18 USC 641. If people want to look it up.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a crime to steal a federal government document or record.
Okay.
And that's what this
is.
is. So potentially, if it fits within the statute, it's potentially a crime.
So, Jim, I'm going to ask you not specifically about this unless you want to comment on it. I'll take whatever you got for sure.
Great legal mind that I am.
Yes, of course.
I don't want to embarrass Hans.
We'll ask him the defense
my legal
questions.
expertise.
Yeah, I'll ask you about the border when we come back here to you, Hans. I just kind of wonder if you take the whole box of what this administration, like the point where we are in the timeline right now, This just seems par for the course.
Actually, this is an issue where Hans and I really agree, which is, so there's a lot of speculation about why they did this, why now, and this thing. Oh, well, they're obviously, they want to build momentum, getting into get the base fired up, and I don't think this works for them on a couple of levels. First of all, on a lot of the issues that Hans and I work on, border and immigration, number one, they're completely underwater, and the things that affect your dinner table. And the things every day, inflation, the economy, and then people look at what's going on in the world. I think that's what's riveted Americans' attention. I don't think this is the issue they think it is, and they think that somehow this is going to rally the masses, like we just saw in Ohio, where we had a primary where twice as many of one party showed up than the other party. So I actually.
There's a pretty motivated base out there. And
I actually think that this is going to prove to be the opposite. They're going to go so over the top on this issue that they're going to turn off even more voters. And people are going to be looking to the bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
So I actually think this is like the captain of the Titanic throwing an anchor to the lifeboat.
Here, catch.
No, I mean, I agree with that. And look, for the average person, and I'm an average person, what's more important to me when I make my voting decisions? The fact that, like I said, when I go to the gas station, I'm paying more for gas than I've ever paid in my entire time of driving. When I went to the grocery store last weekend, and the price of ground beef was the price that steak used to be. And those kind of issues, that's what's important to voters, not this issue over abortion, which, look, if the decision comes out the way this draft opinion seems to indicate, all that means is that the decision on whether abortion is allowed or not is simply going to go back to the state.
I think we're just becoming more of a pro-life country.
Yeah.
In 1973, what we knew about what was going on in the womb versus what we can see with our, I've seen it. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, anybody can see. We've said this in the show multiple times. Before we can have this discussion, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, we have to first decide, when does life begin?
Right. The science has changed. The medicine has changed. I think the country is in a different place. And look, I think if we're going to be honest with ourselves, and Hans is the right guy. The one that really made me laugh is they said, well, a bunch of men are going to overturn this decision. When it was a bunch of men that did Roe v. Wade, is let's be honest. Roe v. Wade was an assault on the Constitution. This is probably the least grounded constitutional judgment that they ever put down, and it's had. I think we should be honest about the incredibly tragic consequences this has had on American society, about the number of lives that we have lost because of what is essentially a political decision. I think this is, to be honest with you, to me, this is a great sign of America getting back on track.
Oh, that's kind of nice. I kind of like the way that feels. I'll try that on.
I sure agree with that.
Hans, I was thinking about you guys coming in here. Like, what are the things, if I've got them in studio, that I really want to know? You're a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. We're talking about Roe v. Wade.
Emphasis on the senior.
Senior? Does that mean what you're implying that it means? Or
yeah, it's definitely a demography thing.
Let me ask you this. Roe v. Wade is now potentially going to be overturned, but I think a lot of people don't know what Roe v. Wade is in the first place. We're talking about the early 70s. Just tell me, legally speaking, what was determined in that case?
Well, look, for our entire history until Roe versus Wade, the rules regarding abortion were decided in each state by the voters in the state legislatures. They decided whether abortion was allowed or not, whether it was restricted, what the rules were for it. And all of a sudden, in the Roe versus Wade decision, the Supreme Court says, oh, no, in the Constitution, there's a right to have an abortion. You can read through the entire Constitution. You can read through the Bill of Rights, and there's nothing like that in the Constitution. They just created that. It was a liberal court. They wanted to create this right to it. And so all of a sudden, the federal government is saying, well, we are now going to regulate the rules on this. There was no basis for it at all. And because of that, they put in, some rules that have caused litigation ever since, because they were very murky. what the rules were for this. And the only thing, there are folks out there saying, oh my God, there will be no abortions anywhere in the United States if they come out with this. No, what's going to happen is they're going to return it to the way it was, which was the states make the decisions on this. And isn't that the democratic way? People in each state should decide what the rules are about this.
So, this isn't some weird thing either. Most European countries actually have rules much stricter than the United States.
Yeah, right. We are in not good company with our abortion laws.
This is like definitely a Hans thing, right? Because when we work on voter integrity, I got called into one of the embassies. I don't know to tell you which one it was because that wouldn't be fair. So I was at the Belgian embassy, and the ambassador was saying, "What is wrong with you Americans passing these Jim Crow voter laws?" And I said, "Let me explain this to you. This is actually a voter ID law." And he goes, "Oh, we have voter ID in Belgium."
Yes, every country in Europe.
So we're already getting attacked by the Europeans because of this, and the reality is where the law goes, if it goes, is actually going where most of the world already is, which is, we need to be much more responsible about that. And we ought to care about the lives of people who are not born yet, because they have rights too. And I think, again, if you look at this and you look at Disney stock and you look at Netflix stock and you look at where voters are, all this says is Americans are fed up with a few people with a political agenda that has some wacky vision of the future, and that we should follow them there like lemmings and not live in a country where we get to make decisions about our families and our lives and grow and have our own prosperity. I think it's like we started on this journey and we're like, dude, you guys are heading in the wrong direction.
Isn't it interesting, too, that the country has been able to speak to that with the Netflix stock, the Disney stock, a host of other things, in spite of all of the ways that a specific political party has tried to keep people from being able to speak?
I think that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
When people say democracy is under assault, I think democracy is fine because Americans look at what's going on and they're not happy and they're letting us know about that. That to me is the textbook definition of a free people.
What do you think about when Democrats, I know you guys do policy, not politics, but when Democrats are saying, unless you elect only Democrats, democracy will die?
What do you think about that, Hans?
I mean, like we hear that a lot, like democracy itself is at stake in this election. And then we proceed to find out why one party, if they get in control, will end democracy, so we should only stick with the other party.
Well, when they say that, they have a picture of Hans.
Right. Well, I'll give you just one
in their mind when they say.
I'll give you just one quick example that demonstrates how totally false that is, and the fact that the Department of Homeland Security has formed a disinformation bureau. In other words, a ministry of truth. In other words, they're putting the government into the business of censorship. That's not
scary, isn't it?
That's not democracy. That's the kind of things that my mother, who grew up in Nazi Germany, saw when the Nazis came in and put in their, I won't give you the long German name for it, but it was basically their ministry of propaganda to control and make sure there wasn't any misinformation out there in the newspapers and public sources of information. And they're going down this same road. That's not democracy.
Eugenics and Nazi Germany kind of leaned on some things that the United States was willing to do when it comes to like people control in our history. I mean, there's just kind of a few parallels here, there, and everywhere. And I hate when people throw the word, like calling people Nazi or Hitler or whatever, because I'm like, there was a Hitler and we don't have one of those.
No, we don't. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but the idea of censorship, government censorship, people experienced that in the 30s in Germany, in Italy. They experienced it in the Soviet Union. They're experiencing it in Russia today. And that is not a road we want to go down.
So what's hilarious to me about this whole thing, and I've been somebody that's worked with the Department of Homeland Security since it was started. And actually, one of the first things Mayorkas did when he became Secretary of Homeland Security was throw me off the Homeland Security Council. I know, Brooke. But when this thing, the thing that he's talking about, this kind of disinformation board, when it broke, if you listen to Mayorkas' defense of this over the weekend, it was trust me, right? So they appoint the person to run this, the poster child for this, to run this board is somebody who's completely unqualified, hyper partisan, really, and actually completely irresponsible and immature. This is from the Secretary of Homeland Security, who at the same time saying, don't worry, the border is under control when we have record illegal immigration in this country. So here's a guy who has no credibility at all and who has failed us in every possible way, who's actually created the world's largest human trafficking industry. And the American taxpayers are actually paying for this. And his response to saying, well, we're worried about this. And his answer is, trust me.
How about no? How about no?
I think it's too short for radio.
Yeah, I wanna come back and talk more about that and Scary Poppins, which is what Sean Davis called the czar on
awesome.
Tucker Carlson, and I have to give Sean Davis of the Federalist credit for that. But I said I will be using that regularly because Mary Poppins, the Disney Queen, you don't mess with Mary Poppins, especially in that heinous way. More in studio with Hans von Spakovsky and Jim Carafano, or Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I tried to put the blame on, and now I'm stepping on all the cracks, so I guess there ain't no use.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Congresswoman Ann Wagner. There will be an investigation. Chief Justice Roberts is moving forward on that. A very limited number of people who had access to this draft.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. Go to for your air conditioning unit if it is going to need a little tune-up here before it gets super hot. I think it's supposed to get up to 90 within the next week or so, which is crazy. And in true St. Louis fashion, you're probably using your furnace and air conditioner in the same day. It's weird, but it's what we do. If they're not working right, you need the best to come to your home and to provide that maintenance that's going to save you those costly repairs down the line. Now, if you were at the point where you need those costly repairs done, Air Comfort Service is going to do right by you. They're going to give you options. They're going to, as they did us, give you options to fix your HVAC unit, your furnace, or they're going to tell you what you need to do to replace it. And they have great access to 0% financing and also rebates. So if you're looking to save money with the best service and the best products around, Air Comfort Service is the place to go. It's where I've chosen to go with my family's house and our HVAC unit. And I think that you will have great success with that as well. 314-513-0091. Call 314-513-0091. Visit them online at aircomfortservice.com.
In life, you can count on three things: death, taxes, and your car breaking down. Mark Cox here. I can't do anything about the first two, but for the car breaking down, that's why I have CarShield. CarShield offers protection plans for around $100 a month that cover more parts than ever before, whether your car has a few thousand or 150,000 miles. When you need a repair, you don't have to deal with the paperwork or the headaches. All you have to do is choose the mechanic to do the work. CarShield handles the rest. You can also count on CarShield to take care of you if your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road. Every protection plan includes coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental car options, and trip reimbursement at no extra cost. Get your coverage today. Lock in your price. It'll never go up at carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10% on your plan. That's carshield.com/Cox or 800-391-8888.
Real estate prices are through the roof, right? Home buyers are paying way over asking price. You're tempted to sell, but you're not 100% sure you're ready to move. In a perfect world, you could sell your home for full value, bank the cash, and continue living there as long as you like. Well, I found your perfect world at Truehold.com. This is life-changing. Truehold will pay you 100% of your home's value, 100% in cash right now. And here's the best part. You don't have to move unless you want to. You can stay in your home as long as you'd like. Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash within 30 days. Use your cash to do anything and everything you've dreamed of doing: travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com and discover the smarter, faster alternative to cashing out your home's full value without having to move. That's 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Do you have an open wound on your foot or leg that is below the knee? If so, you may qualify for a research study being conducted to evaluate the safety and effectiveness of an investigational medication that may improve blood flow and help with healing. Qualified participants will receive all study-related treatment at no cost. You will be compensated for your time and travel. If you are 18 years or older and have a non-healing wound, please call 314-707-2347. Again, the number is 314-707-2347.
Hi, George Weber. Check out my alter ego, Skip Weber, every Saturday night, 9 to 11. The Saturday Evening Rock Show, the greatest rock and roll show on a talk station in the world. Don't miss it.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Fix me something good to eat and make my head a little high, make the whole day complete. 'Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on.
We have a dangerous national security crisis at our southern border, and it's about to get a lot worse. And this is all of President Biden's making. When he came into office, he rolled out one executive order after another, which was rolling out the red carpet for illegal immigrants to come to the United States. We're at a point now where over 2 million illegal immigrants have come to the United States, and that's more illegal immigrants in 14 months under Joe Biden than under 4 years with President Trump.
So there's Senator Barrasso talking about the security crisis at our southern border. We have in studio Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation, who are going to be joining us at the event tonight at the Elks Lodge. Looking forward to seeing a sold-out crew of people there. Jim, I'm going to ask you about that. The southern border, you've been saying this for, I mean, it was still an issue, of course, when Trump was the president, but you've been saying this is the issue, the key issue.
Actually, and we said it on this show, like almost over 2 years ago, that this was going to be one of the top issues in the country.
Is it still?
Let me tell you why. And these are the, I know I said this in the last time, but these are the two talking points that I think people just have to rivet into their brains. When at the end of Joe Biden's term, the illegal population in the United States will be more than twice what it was when he came in office.
Wow.
That is a number that is so big that if it were a state in the union, it would maybe be the 5th largest state in America. So if you think of every problem that is connected to illegal immigration, whether it's the burden on the taxpayers or security or terrorism or public health, magnify that many, many times over. That's the scale of the challenge that Biden is importing. And the other point of that is his solution to the border crisis is to not have the border be a bottleneck and to move illegal immigrants into this country as quickly as possible in as large a number as possible and make it almost impossible to deport them. And he is using American tax dollars to do that. And so we are actually, as taxpayers, paying more, actually billions more to move people illegally into the country than we were paying to secure the border. So we are paying, the American taxpayer is paying to destroy its country under Joe Biden.
That's unbelievable.
That's all I have to say about
and
that.
It's intentional.
That's not all you have to say about that.
No, but this is an intentional knowing policy.
Right. This is the most successful policy of the Biden administration. It's the only thing in the Biden administration that
This
is
is the
working
win.
exactly the way they want.
That's terrible. I'll mention your book, Hans, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. We've got an influx of people. Those people are going to go somewhere. They have thoughts and opinions. And the people who are in charge right now, let's say like in the city of New York City, is allowing non-citizens to vote, correct?
Yeah, they just passed an ordinance to allow them to vote in local elections. And it is a stated goal of the left, that they want to get rid of the bans on non-citizens and not being able to vote. They want them voting because they believe this will help them secure control of the country politically for the future.
Do you think they're on the path to being successful?
Well, one of well, unless we get this immigration problem under control, and the Biden administration doesn't want it to be under control, they want to get as many illegal aliens into the country as they can before the end of their term. Whether they're going to be successful, I don't know, but it doesn't look good right now.
Now, here's what I will say: that part of their strategy is to make Americans think this is an unfixable problem.
Yes,
that the border cannot be secured, and that people cannot be deported. And at the end of the day, we will have to accommodate this population, and we have no other choice. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true because I think one of the things Donald Trump did as president is he proved that you can secure the border. You can actually secure it at a responsible cost. You can deport people. And the fact that you're deporting people has an amazing deterrent effect on future illegal population. And it will affect transborder crime. It will affect opioids. It will affect all the ills that we're importing into this country. So I know I said this before. I never get tired of saying it. I think in 2025, Americans will vote not just to bring somebody to the White House, not just to give them a mandate to address this issue, but they'll be like, dude or dudette, on day one, you will start to fix this problem.
Who's the judge?
And you will have impact.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, we will be really angry because that's why we voted to put you in the White House.
How quickly does the right Congress and the right administrator fix this problem? Like, how quickly can the right policies make a difference?
Well, I would actually tell you, in days, you would actually start to see, because remember, I mean, pick a number, but people pay cartels $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 for the right to illegally enter the country. Nobody likes to lay down that cash unless they think they can get in and they can stay.
Yeah.
And so the market works, and America's border is a marketplace. And right now, it's like there's no tariffs, right? There's no cost for coming into America, whether you're drugs or rapist or anything else. As soon as people know there's a cost to be paid, the market will start to react to that.
Interesting. We've got Hans von Spakovsky and we've got Jim Carafano from Heritage Foundation in studio with us right now. They're in town for the evening with the Heritage Foundation that we are all going to be at tonight. Super excited to do that. You know, Hans, one of the issues that we've talked to you about over the course of time is the Durham report. We love bringing you on to talk about that. It seems as though Donald Trump is batting 1,000 when it comes to being right throughout the course of things that he was accused of and things that he was found to be innocent of. I partner that. Sometimes I have to remind myself to separate them with the Hunter Biden story, because the way that they suppressed, you just weren't, it's like we don't talk about that when it comes to Hunter Biden, but we talked about everything that was, manifested, fabricated to hurt President Trump. It's such an imbalance. The Durham probe is still going on. I'm just curious about all those stories, how they mix together, and how you think they're going to affect maybe the next 6 months or year or so.
Well, the trial of Michael Sussman, who was the former lawyer Perkins Coie, who got the FBI, who went to the FBI with one of these false Trump-Russia collusion stories. His trial's about to start. And I think there's going to be a lot of news out of this. Durham is continuing to investigate. What's so amazing about all this, and as you know, is that imagine for just a moment if the son of a Republican president had been involved in getting millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist government, from Russian oligarchs, and in fact, went on trade trips with his father.
The Democrats would have loved to have found that out about Don Jr.
Screaming headlines, and there would have been a huge corruption investigation of this. Now, supposedly there is, an investigation going on, but as you know, the major newspapers did everything they could to delay anything like this going on. We learned about this years ago, and they did everything they could to say, oh, this is just Russian disinformation. It's not real. They didn't want this information coming out because they were afraid it would affect the 2020 election.
Yeah.
Is the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden connection a concern for the security of the United States of America?
Well, in so much as it weakens the president, I mean, people do this calculus. I mean, they look at the president's poll numbers, they look at that, and they recognize it's not a president domestically operating from a position of strength. But this is scandal 101. There's a big difference. One of the reasons why Watergate was so damaging to the president was it didn't blow up overnight. Because what happens when scandals in Washington, D.C. blow up overnight and nobody has any facts, it very quickly becomes he said, she said, right? And so it gets bipartisan very quickly. And average Americans just look at this and they go, oh, it's just Republicans yelling at Democrats. And then they just put the whole thing aside. What happens when you have a scandal that builds slowly and the facts come out before kind of the partisan position hardened? It's very, very hard to say, oh, it's just people playing politics. And so one of the things that the Durham investigation has done, because it has kind of gradually pushed it. And I think one of the mistakes they made about the Hunter laptop was because they just kind of suppressed it. And now we're gradually starting to build an evidence change. People are seeing the facts and they're not just hearing the pundits yell. And I think that makes a huge difference. So that's why I think in the end, these things are going to hurt them much more because people are going to make decisions based upon the facts that they see, not just based upon, well, I think the Republicans are right or I think the Democrats are right.
Well, we've got to run here. We're going to have this event tonight. Real quick, the most important question to have: Johnny Depp or Amber Heard?
Yeah, I just look
He's
at
panicking.
I just look at the Dread Pirate Roberts, and that's all I can see.
Captain Jack Sparrow, what do you think? You pay any attention to this?
All I can say is, no matter how bad the situations are in everyday lives, they're so much better and so much more normal than what we're seeing.
Couldn't we just put them on a desert island and have them fight it out?
Yeah, as long as there's rum, from what I understand. Maybe this is all because the rum was gone. Maybe we did
exactly
something
what
right
it
now.
was.
The rum was
This
gone.
is what happens.
This is what happens.
This is what happens when the drugs run out. Thank you.
Yeah, that too. We've heard plenty of that. Well, Hans von Spakovsky and Jim Carafano, we will see you tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with us this afternoon.
We're glad we're going to be there to see all your listeners.
Yes, we're going to have a great time, and we're going to be streaming the event. Make sure you follow the 97.1 Facebook page. More Annie Frey show in a minute. Wiggins coming back in the studio. They'll go away.
They let light it shut up and close.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Did you know there are financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from any losses? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from market losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Audacy station.
The Fed makes a bigger move. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Inflation is much too high, and we understand the hardship it is causing. And we're moving expeditiously to bring it back down.
Fed Chief Jay Powell, as the central bank boosts a key interest rate by 0.5 point, double the usual amount.
This is an aggressive move. You're seeing history here, folks. This hasn't happened in 22 years. A very big rate hike.
Fox Business's Jerry Willis. The Fed says the economy slowed in the first quarter while inflation remains elevated. And they're signaling more hikes to come, though also noting that consumers are still spending and unemployment remains low. The hike will cost borrowers money.
If you have variable rate debt, credit cards, an adjustable rate mortgage, maybe you're trying to get a new mortgage, costs for all of those loans will be higher. It will cost you more.
But the hike will be a boost for some savings accounts. Ahead of the Fed's announcement,
we're on track to cut the federal deficit by another $1.5 trillion by the end of this fiscal year.
President Biden highlighting deficit reduction as another way to lower inflation, though the long-term deficit outlook remains problematic as a partisan debate over the economy continues to simmer leading up to the midterm elections. The president praising Olympians for bringing the country together.
We believe in America, anything is possible, and you are the explanation of what we mean. It's all about possibility.
A White House celebration for about 600 athletes from Team USA, both the Winter Games this year in Beijing and the COVID-delayed Summer Games held last year in Tokyo. On Wall Street right now, a big rally after the Fed announcement. The Dow's up 625. Russia is reportedly offering again to open humanitarian corridors out of the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol, though many attempts have fallen through. The Russians also deny Ukrainian reports they stormed a steel plant there. America's listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Keeping it dry this afternoon, but the clouds continue to dominate. Nothing more than a little peekaboo sunshine. 69-70 for the high. Here comes more rain and a couple of thunderstorms, especially after midnight tonight. 55. Keep the showers and some thunderstorms going Thursday. 75 on Thursday. Still wet Thursday night and into Friday morning, but the weekend looks dry. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Tonight, even if you don't have a spot reserved for the Heritage Foundation's event with us at 97.1, you can still stream it and be there from home. Follow 97.1 on the socials, and we'll go live at 7 tonight. And for info, go to 971talk.com/events.
This is Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing you there virtually tonight with Jim Carafano and Hans von Spakovsky and 97.1 FM Talk.
Making sure that you have a smile that you have confidence in is important, but also when it comes to your orthodontic health, there are a lot of other things, the way you sleep, how you breathe, that are affected by the alignment of your teeth. For my family and my son, who's 12, and it's probably a little past time when we were supposed to go have his teeth checked out, we knew that we wanted to go to Hensher Johnson Orthodontics. Dr. Jody is fantastic. And I'll tell you, when my family, because I couldn't go because I was on the air when the appointment was going on, my husband took my oldest two kiddos there. And when they came back and I was like, so tell me all about it. He said, Dr. Jody is our kind of people. Like, she gives it to you straight. She tells you what you need to know. She's super nice. And she tells you what you got to do, what you should do, what you could do, but you're aware of that. And it's presented to you in a way that helps you make a good, confident decision about your orthodontic health. The only place for the Frey family is Hensher Johnson Orthodontics. 618-400-0900. 618-400-0900. Online at HensherJohnsonOrtho.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, and if you're looking to get the exterior of your home or business repainted, CertaPro's expert painters can help. They focus on the power of timeliness, the power of inspiration, the power of doing it right, the power of localness, the power of minimal disruption. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated and can help make your home or business look amazing. Get your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. I've hired CertaPro for more than a decade because the work is amazing. For your home or business and the power of pro, CertaPro painters.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. When it comes to your tax issues, why would you trust some faceless national company that uses cartoons in its ads to protect you? Tax problems are not funny and should not be treated lightly. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue and you need a lawyer that will protect your rights. You can't meet face to face with a cartoon. And what happens if the national company can't resolve your issue and stops returning calls? Do yourself a favor and call the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. I am a local attorney specializing in tax resolution. You can come in and sit down with a licensed, experienced attorney and put a name with a face. When it comes to tax issues, don't go with a cartoon. Get serious help with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The best way to listen to music is at a concert in the front row. And the best way to eat a Nature Valley Crunchy Bar is outside. Somehow it makes the crunch even crunchier and the whole grains even whole grainier. See for yourself with Nature Valley.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Listen on the Audacy app and rewind whenever you'd like. Or catch up on entire shows within 24 hours of air. 97.1 FM Talk. Experience the rewind with the Audacy app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
This is a victory for J.D. Vance, Laura. It's also a victory. You cannot sugarcoat this for Donald Trump as well, who endorsed J.D. Vance. And you see a turnout election day in Ohio powering J.D. Vance. We have about 70% of the vote counted now. This lead has stretched over the last hour, stretched from 20,000 to 40,000 to 50,000, now just shy of 50,000. J.D. Vance with 31% of the vote. Josh Mandel, the former state treasurer, a very pro-Trump candidate, but he did not get Trump's endorsement, running second to 24. The more establishment Republican, State Senator Matt Dolan, was in the hunt early on, but he simply faded as J.D. Vance. See all these rural counties? This is J.D. Vance's color here. See all these rural counties up here? Just like Trump built it up in Ohio and ran away with the state against Joe Biden.
It's been a no good, dirty, rotten week for the libs. It's just been bad. It's been really bad. Donald Trump gets his, he kind of endorsed both of them, honestly. But he gets his JD Vance across the finish line. And the endorsement that he made in that Ohio race, that candidate didn't have a demonstrative lead pretty much until last night. I mean, it was close. And I don't think that anybody can look at that race and go that Trump he wasn't the deciding factor. I have my thoughts on this, but I'm curious what you guys think about this. The results of what we've heard so far, Trump has a very good winning record with his endorsement so far. Does this tell us anything? What do you think we know now?
To me, it shows that the average person who's voting in the primary is probably informed, but not so informed that a endorsement from their guy, which is Donald Trump pretty much at this point, doesn't make a big impact. Because like you said, in Ohio, there were two candidates that were both, it wasn't like there was the Trump guy and then the anti-Trump guy. There were two Trump guys, and both of them did well.
There were not two Trump guys. I was being facetious when I said he endorsed two people because he said the wrong name on the stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did not endorse two people. He endorsed one person, and the other person hung on and clung on to the Trump thing. But the other guy was winning, and then he didn't.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm saying, is that you had two guys who were very much, I'm your Trump candidate, regardless of what Donald did. So once he endorsed somebody, it does seem to make a big difference. And the fact that you had two of them in this race and both of them did well, it just speaks to the power that Donald Trump still has in the Republican Party.
Do you think it's Donald Trump, or do you think it's just populism in general? I mean, I know Donald Trump ushered it in and he rode that wave, but like even the Democratic candidate in Ohio is he's almost like a Trumpian version of a Democrat. He's talking about the same things that Donald Trump did, and his first attack ad on JD Vance was already, he's actually not this. He's a San Francisco, trust fund baby. You know what I'm saying?
I think it speaks to, I mean, yes, I get what you're saying about populism, because populism is popular on the left with your Bernie Sanders, your AOC people, because those are basically like socialist candidates. They're very populist. So that whole narrative is popular. But I think specifically with Trump, people trust him still. I think it's speaking to the fact that they trust that he is out for their good enough that, okay, I'll go with you.
I think that most people discussing this are missing a very key important part of this whole discussion, which is that Trump is motivating his people to show up and take action. There is nobody in politics more motivated right now to act and to vote than Trump Republicans. And it is a primary. And I mean, I was trying to look here real quick on voter turnout in Ohio to compare it to years past. But if Donald Trump got 100% of his people to come out and vote, because people are, he's a brand, he's an affinity. Mm-hmm. He is something that you don't just, it's not just about, oh, that's, if I'm going to dive in and sniff around what's going on in the political realm, and see what all these people know. People who are MAGA people pay attention to what he's saying all the time. So they're hyper motivated to show up. That does absolutely mean something, but it does not mean everything. It does not mean that in a general election, when the Democrats are super motivated to show up to beat Donald Trump or to beat somebody who they feel is part of the Trump sphere, it's apples and oranges. You cannot say that Donald Trump does not have an effect or his fingerprints all over the 22 races that he endorsed and won yesterday. Of course he does. But people also, I'm begging you and reminding you that when it comes to primaries and the amount of people who show up to weigh in on these things, don't take this like twice as many people voted in the Republican primary that voted in the in the Democrat primary in Ohio. Twice as many Republicans showed up. That doesn't inherently mean that it's going to be the same thing in the general election. You've got Republicans running against Republicans. You've got Democrats running against Democrats. It's an entirely different scenario. And I think that it's anything that is Trump, if it's pro-Trump or if it's anti-Trump, it is such easy chum in the water for both sides of the media to latch onto and, put the flag on the top of the hill and say you won, or to say the sky is falling and the building's on fire.
Do you think that within conservative voters, though, that MAGA is bigger now than it's ever been?
No.
Do you think it's peaked and it's still a force, but it's not as
well?
much
I think when you're saying MAGA, I think you're talking Trump, and I think if you're saying Trump, you should say Trump, not MAGA.
Okay. Do you think Trump voters now, people who identify with him, there are more of them now than there were in 2020 or 2016?
Are there more Trump voters?
Of Republican voters, do more people identify as I'm part of the Trump movement now than ever before?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so either. I think there are more people involved now. I think there are more people, and it's important that we drew that distinction between the MAGA crowd, MAGA and Trump, because MAGA can exist without Donald
America
Trump.
First is Donald Trump's baby, and it's the right baby, and he raised it, and he created something that people can get behind, and I am 100% behind that. And the idea of making America great again, the things that he put forth and the things that he prioritized. We had Hans von Spakovsky and Jim Carafano in here just in the last hour. You can go back and rewind on the Audacy app if you want to hear that, if you missed it. But, looking at our southern border, Donald Trump really came out of nowhere and made that one of the top probably 3 issues. China, the border, and probably taxes were the 3 things that he came into 2016 and pushed back on. And he made that an issue. And those are things that absolutely need to be addressed right now, this very second. So put that agenda back in. And again, it can be Trump doing it, but I'm not interested in a Trump candidate when I have a primary if Donald Trump is more interested in Donald Trump than he is in America First. It can't be Trump first. It's got to be America First. It's his thing. And as long as he wants to keep on that, let's go.
I still think he is more focused on Trump than he is America First.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of not because of JD Vance necessarily, but because of endorsements like Dr. Oz. That to me is, well, I want a senator in Pennsylvania for my possible next term more than it is I want a good senator. It's just saying I want a Republican there, which I guess is strategic.
But why would you pick Dr. Oz? He has a horrible record.
I agree. I just think
but why would you pick somebody who has a horrible record, who has tons of stuff that can be thrown right back at Dr. Oz to show that he isn't an America First conservative minded person? Why would you pick that person if they're not going to get elected? It doesn't make any sense.
I think he thinks that Dr. Oz has a better chance of getting elected in a purple state over a very conservative Republican. Now, I don't know if that's a great strategy, but I think that's why he's playing it that way.
That's swamp stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what he's doing. That's not America First.
No, I think that's my point, is that sounds like swamp stuff. That's Trump first rather than America First, and I don't like that.
Okay. I don't, yeah. I looked at these, I kind of saw some of these results coming in, and the JD Vance one in Ohio was certainly the biggest one that people were watching to see what would happen next. And he hasn't endorsed anybody in the Missouri Senate primary yet. I know he has been meeting with Illinois gubernatorial candidates. Be very interested to see if he decides to weigh in on that. But I mean, if you're talking about the state of Illinois, it's the same thing with Pennsylvania. Donald Trump's endorsement in the state of Illinois is not necessarily going to do anybody any favors. So why weigh in? And if people are looking at primaries and trying to gauge how interested people are in Donald Trump, I mean, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, enough with the Trump. Like, we've got problems to solve right now. I want Donald Trump's agenda, and I want his efforts and his team and his policies and Donald Trump to be there on the scene in any way, shape, or form that'll help. But I need to know that it's for the country. and I don't see that in a lot of his rallies.
I think that what you're pointing out is the same thing that we complained about why people voted for Joe Biden. They voted for personality over policy, and we ended up with Joe Biden. If you're voting for Trump because, well, he's Trump, then you're voting for personality. What we're interested in is the policies. Now, those policies have been married to Trump. Those America First policies are amazing policies. And so that's why I would be interested in voting for Donald Trump, like you said, if it were a America First agenda, if his policies were right. But that doesn't mean I have to have those policies married to Donald Trump. I could have those with a DeSantis or anybody else that would run. If they brought me those policies, I'm going to back them.
Yeah, to Ryan's initial question about the amount of people who are Trump voters, Chris on YouTube says people who don't like Trump still don't like Trump. And I agree with that. I want to go to the Dave Chappelle story. Did you guys see that he was attacked on stage?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that they immediately arrested the guy and charged him with assault?
Mm-hmm.
I did see that.
Seems ironic.
Yeah, they didn't really give him much deference.
We watch, no, we don't. People watch award shows, and if you are into that type of thing, you sit there and you watch people take the stage, and when they take the stage, what do? They virtue signal all over the place. It's as if it's an accessory as important as the diamonds they're borrowing from somebody who paid them to use them, which is like almost not even borrowing. You watch these people go on these stage and tell you about how, it's a woman's world and it's like, yay, feminism. But then you start to find out what's really going on behind closed doors. And in some cases, I remember watching women go accept awards on the stage and talk about, like, be so emotional, they're actresses, that about how, to be a woman and to be in this position and to have fought to get here. I always thought, okay, that doesn't seem very relatable to me. Well, come to find out, the industry that they live in, the existence that they live in, the reality that they know is pretty crappy. And the men in that industry get away with a bunch of crazy things, Harvey Weinstein. This is the type of existence that they live. Well, stop talking to us through the camera and telling us about how we need to change our lifestyles. Look at the people who are sitting right there in front of you, that in the massively expensive outfits that in many cases they probably don't even have to pay for, because if a designer gets a suit or a dress on a celebrity, then they're going to profit upon this. I mean, it's so incestuous. And they go on the stage and then they virtue signal to the whole world. And the problem exists in their own backyard. Should I go into climate change? Should I go into, carbon offsets? Should I go into privilege and abuse and how people are treated when they commit certain crimes? I mean, what this person did, I'll read here from the Fox News story. The suspect in Dave Chappelle's onstage attack has been arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon, according to the LAPD. Isaiah Lee, 23, was carrying a replica gun with a knife blade inside when he attacked Chappelle during the Hollywood Bowl, police said. Authorities described him as a black male with brown hair and brown eyes, stands 5'11", weighs 140. The suspect, who resides in the LA area, is being held on $30,000 bail. Videos of the incident show Lee jumping on stage and tackling Chappelle. The suspect was injured and taken from the scene in the ambulance. So he tackles Dave Chappelle. How is that any different than Will Smith marching up on the stage to Chris Rock, he assaulted him on the stage, and then he went and sat down, and then he won Best Oscar. Best Actor, which is the best Oscar. Like, this is your upside down world, not ours. So take your everything is upside down, life isn't fair, whiny virtue signaling nonsense. Get a room, all of you. Get a room, no cameras, and just tell each other you suck, because you do. This is pretty much it. I even feel sorry for Will Smith. I'm not on Will Smith's side. I'm on Chris Rock's side. If we're talking about who do you got, Chris Rock or Will Smith? Chris Rock all the way. Will Smith or Jada Pinkett Smith? I'm on Will's side on that one.
No doubt.
And I do feel a sense of empathy for him, because I think he's incredibly unhappy and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And he snapped. And then he went to the Taj Mahal, like we all do when we
That's what you do. That's what you do.
I'm like, are you on a PR tour to the Taj Mahal? Totally relatable. Carbon offsets, people. Did you use a paddle boat to get there? Because please don't come tell me about my life and all the things I need to be changing in my absolutely mediocre Midwestern existence. I don't have time for that crap. The Taj Mahal. I'm going to go to Cottonwood Mall and sit there and reflect on my life. I'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. 97.1 is St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk. Right here, right now. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group going to have another event that I get to go to and meet you at if you reserve your spot. And you do have to reserve your spot. The economy is bonkers right now. That is a technical term that I learned when I was 6, and it's crazy, and you don't know what's going to happen next. And if you don't know what's going to happen next with the economy, and you are a few short years or maybe even just into retirement, do you know if you're safe? Thomas Helbig can make it so that you are worry-free in your retirement or leading up to your retirement. I mean, let's be real. You've put so much work and effort into saving and sacrificing so that when this day comes, it's a very happy one. You do not want to be fretting over what the Fed is going to do or what the stock market's going to do. Or, I mean, I don't even know what else there is that could go wrong, but chances are if it can go wrong, it will. So that's why you get Thomas Helbig. And if you go to this event, it's Tuesday, May 24th at 6:30 p.m. It's a free event. He has snacks, which are fantastic, and drinks. So you need to go check that out as well. It's a Frontenac Hilton. I will be there. Mark Cox will be there. Mark Reardon will be there. And we are really looking forward to meeting you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494 online at retirementkey.com.
Baseball is back, and Audacy's stepping up to the plate.
Free in-market play-by-play for your city's team? Audacy's got it.
Tips to help you make better bets.
We've got them with the BetQL network.
Official MLB podcasts for every single team.
Got them. Plus daily coverage from Locked On MLB and a lot more.
Get everything you need for baseball season with the biggest in baseball broadcasting on the Audacy app.
Listen at home, at work, or on the go.
The Fed has raised rates.
But there's still time to put extra cash in your pocket with a cash out refinance from Golden Oak Lending.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With home values at all-time highs and our low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 314-567-GOAL today, while Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available.
Golden Oak Lending, showing my blue.
NMLS 114937.
You found the one? Now find the ring. Come to Shane Company. Our team of jewelry consultants will do whatever it takes to help you find the perfect engagement ring. Not only are we knowledgeable about diamonds and sapphires, ring settings, and financing options, but we're problem solvers too. Just the other day, a guy came in who wanted to surprise his girlfriend with a spectacular engagement ring, but he wasn't certain what style she would like. So we came up with a great solution. Get a classic solitaire diamond ring for the proposal. Then set up an appointment to come back as a couple and create her dream ring. He did just that. He selected a 1 1/4 carat oval diamond and had it set in a solitaire ring setting. Then, after the proposal, he and his fiancée came back together and swapped it for a pave ring setting and added a halo decorative crown to give it even more sparkle. When she put it on, she was beaming. He pulled off an amazing proposal and she got the ring of her dreams.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Introducing EarLens, a new approach to the treatment of hearing loss that uses a tiny custom-fit lens to gently vibrate the eardrum without surgery. That means EarLens gives you 2.5 times the audible bandwidth of traditional hearing aids for dramatically better speech understanding. EarLens may result in improved hearing, even in noisy listening situations. To learn more, go to earlens.com today. That's EARLENS.com and register for a free virtual consultation. That's earlens.com.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you're experiencing the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
It's time for an $89 AC tune-up.
Chevrolet.com. Moon river, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday.
Is this your guys' song, Brian?
No, I don't know what this is.
Moon River?
No. I don't know what the joke is because Brad started laughing. And you're like,
looked,
oh, is this
he
a
looked
joke?
at you, he looked at you,
But
and
I'm
then
not
he
in on the
chuckled.
joke. Brad is the only one inside on the inside joke.
Be quiet. This is a great song.
Okay.
Yeah, you two drifters. Is there a better song than Andy Williams' Moon River?
Yes.
Name one.
Enter Sandman.
Same windows. This is so great. I had this, ironically, in my list of songs to pick for the show. There was this song, and right below it was Chaperone.
I don't know.
I just sat there and I looked at that, and I'm like, that kind of explains our show. It's right there in 2 lines of a spreadsheet.
This is young Andy Williams. I prefer old Andy Williams. He did lots of great ads for Branson when he was old, and man, did I love those ads because he clearly he would lip sync to his own younger self in the ads, and it was just so clear that he wasn't doing it, but he was still trying. I loved it. Loved him for it.
Which Andy Williams do you prefer, Brad?
Young Andy Williams, because he sang Moon River, and it sounds good.
See?
He was going to say, no matter what I said.
My husband, for my birthday, bought me a record player. I think I've said this on the air, haven't I?
No.
My husband, for my birthday, bought me a record player.
Interesting.
Yes. And you put that song on a record player.
Oh, I bet that's
everybody
amazing.
just shut up. I'm like yelling at my kids, be quiet. This is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I don't have this record, but I know what you mean.
So good.
Listening to certain
So
songs,
good.
certain full albums on vinyl.
Yeah.
There's
You
something
have to
different
listen
about
to full albums because it's too much work not to.
I think it's just watching maybe Twilight Zone, watching old TV shows where the people would say the phrase, you want to come over? I'll put a record on.
Girl, put your... Yeah.
You know, and then I have a record player now, just like you. Maybe I have it at the same time as you did. And we're discovering this together. I don't know. Moon River is just getting into my soul right now.
This is you're confused. This is not a moment. We're not sharing a moment.
I'm not going to argue with that at all.
If there's any moment going on
but
here,
we
it's
would
not
put on a
between you and
record.
me.
We put on a record now, and it's like everybody stops and everybody's listening to the record. Like, you know, you turn the radio on, it's the radio, but you put on a record and you're like making an event for everybody.
I dance with my kids.
Really?
They love to dance to this stuff. My son will dance with me, but it's kind of like hands and shoulders as limp as possible. And he moves side to side without moving his feet, but he does stand there. It's a win.
I got to compliment Charlie.
Yeah.
If he's willing to do that.
Charlie, come here and dance with me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do anything. Just stand there. I'll dance with you. I don't want to do that. And then he kind of gets a smirk on his face, and he's tall enough that like the top of his head is above my nose, but he can still lay his head on my shoulder. So I just hold him and dance to songs like that.
Oh man.
And I gotta show you. I'll show you off the air. This video of I had on Willie Nelson, Georgia on My Mind.
Okay.
And my 5-year-old, she's 6 now. Crap, that happened yesterday. I have to remember that. My 6-year-old was dancing in the piano room, and she has a friend from my son's baseball team, and the friend is super into dancing. And so through the entirety of the boys' baseball games, my daughter and this friend, like the friend is teaching her all of these dance moves, and it's like ballet, and it's
Super Bowl
just
Shuffle.
all different, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so like she's dancing to George on My Mind, and I was holding Molly, and I realized that she was dancing in the other room, and it like I think it was ballet, but then it got to the point I'm like, where did she learn how to do that? That doesn't look right. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, it's one of those things where if your kid is exposed to something and to you it looks a certain way, but to them it's like totally not what it looks like. What do you do? Because I don't want to teach them what I don't want them to know, knowing that they probably don't know the thing that I don't want them to know.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yes. So it was like reminiscent of something that you're like, I don't know if you should know that, but since you don't know it, I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, but don't ever do that in front of anyone else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly. You know what? Every parent knows what you mean.
It's weird.
It is a little weird.
What am I to do?
Yeah. It's the funniest when they say something that is reminiscent of a word or a bad word or something that they clearly don't know that, but you start cracking up. They're like, why?
Especially when they're really little and they use it correctly.
Oh, because they heard it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I've noticed with my kids too, even just mannerisms, maybe an eye gesture, or just my oldest daughter. She is so me in the way that she expresses herself, which is she's not the loud one in the house. She's super focused and driven. She loves to succeed and achieve. But she is kind of silly. But you can tell she's like kind of trying to keep it here. Like her silly isn't everywhere. That's my kindergartner. It is all over the place. But it's just funny to see her do things, especially if she's mad or if she does something and I'm like, you're so me right now and you were in big trouble. Like, you can't do that. I know where you got that from, but you can't do that. Which of your kids is mini Ryan? Do you have one?
Yeah, Sinjin, my oldest boy.
Are you proud of him or you feel sorry for him?
Most of the time I see the drive in him and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. I know what you're doing. You're extremely competitive, always wants to win. But I also see the bad side of those things. And I'm like, oh man, I feel bad for you. Because if he loses, he wears his heart on his sleeve so much that he can't stand it. It's like it's speaking to him as a person if he loses. And I'm like, you got to get over that because I know where you're at, but you got to get over it. What drives me crazy is back to the record thing. Anytime I say, I want to put on a record, and it's like, okay, family, we're not going to turn on the TV right now. We're going to put on a record. We're just going to hang out. And they get to pick the record, and they pick something like Fraggle Rock soundtrack. I'm like, let's listen to Led Zeppelin 3.
Why do you have that?
I have a huge crate of records.
Let's talk about your first mistake. It's having options available that you don't want to listen to.
These records were passed down to me, I'm assuming from my dad or grandma.
Hide them.
50% of them.
Basic parenting stuff.
50% of them are old Christmas records that I'm surprised anybody ever bought more than one of. Yet we've got stacks and stacks of Christmas records. And they love listening to those, and it's fun once. But then,
Chris says
let's
on
move on.
YouTube says Fraggle Rock was great.
No argument. It's just not necessarily the mood.
When you're listening to records, what are you listening to?
I am usually listening to one of the original Beatles albums. Some of the old Beatles albums I don't know that well, so it's been fun to kind of rediscover those. Led Zeppelin, I love the Pink Floyd stuff. I had to order that myself, though. That didn't come with the collection.
Do you like to listen to new music on album?
If you can get it, I think it does something different to the listening experience.
It does. I have 3 John Mayer albums on record.
Doesn't it force you to sit there in a way that listening on a CD or listening on an iPod doesn't do?
Yes, I'll say yes a little bit, because what I will do is I'll turn that on instead of the television. So if the TV is on, I very rarely sit down and watch TV. There's always other things going on. So if the kids are in the house and it's like post school and we're doing homework and people can I go play outside? Just people coming and going after that. I will put music on instead of the television, which means I get to sit down and do work with that playing instead of some dumb TV show.
Whenever I walk into somebody's house and they don't have a screen on, but they have music playing, I instantly have a reaction. Oh, you must be really classy.
Yeah, except for the record player. It's like, you can't move because the thing jumps and skips. So I have to constantly like tell the kids not. I need to move the record player to a sturdier place in the house because it's right where, I unboxed it. I didn't know he was getting it for me. I loved it. And I'm super excited to go do the yard sale circuit and find the 10-cent records that people are looking to get rid of, because when it's 10 cents or 25 cents because somebody just wants to get rid of them, you can like a song and you can buy the album for that song, and then you will end up listening to the whole album.
You got it.
It's funny to teach my son how that all worked.
Did we stop using album? I never did. I think because of CDs, we were the CD generation.
CDs are still albums, but kids don't have albums now. I mean,
no, I guess not.
There are artists who put out albums, and I go back to John Mayer because he does put together albums. But he has also talked about how he has released some singles over the course of time, and it's just not that's not what he loves to do. I'm sure it's what the production company wants him to do, is turn out a bunch of singles. But I think the country music artists that I like will also put out albums, but I don't know what like the pop country, like whatever current popular country is. I don't know what they do and don't care.
Yeah, it's very much a niche industry when an artist does put it out, because I don't think that's primarily where they make a lot of money, although there are people who really seek them out now. Have you tried any of the storybook albums? Your kids are probably young enough where you can listen to an entire audio story on an album still.
I think I had those when I was a kid. I don't have any of those now.
I think what drives
I don't really want them to think that it's for them.
This is mom's time.
This is me. Miranda Lambert just came out with a new album, and I saw it advertised on vinyl. So I think I'm thinking about buying it. I was listening to it the other day while I was running, and I liked what I heard so far. So I'll let you know if I did. Go ahead.
I like the original albums because they're longer and you can put them on. You just kind of leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
The little ones that are also 45s and they play faster, you got to change those things like every 5 minutes.
Yes.
So that's the only thing that's a drawback.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, and the YouTube is popping today. I do not know what's going on out there, but Hannah, you're doing a great job. The YouTube live chat poll: abortion should be legal up to which point? Until birth, until 24 weeks, which is known as viability, the first trimester only, or never / only extenuating circumstances. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, say hi, give the video a thumbs up. There's, like I said, weird stuff going on over there. You can stop in and say hello, and we'll do our best. We'll get our thoughts and reactions to that question and yours on the other side of this break. Everybody quiet. Listen to this beautiful music.
There's such a lot of world to see. We're after that same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend.
The Mark Reardon Show. Congresswoman Ann Wagner.
There will be an investigation. Chief Justice Roberts is moving forward on that. It's a very limited number of people who had access to this draft.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. The Smart Strand Mohawk Silk Reserve is the carpet to go to if you're looking for a luxury experience. If you're looking for something to accommodate that pet that you love in your home, but you hate the pet stuff that gets left behind. I'm talking about the hair and, whatever else. You need a carpet that's going to be able to stand up to that. That's the Smart Strand Mohawk Forever Clean. Whatever type of flooring you are looking for, Michael's Flooring Outlet has an option for you, and they have options for you so that you can choose what's best for your budget and what's best for your home. The best experienced staff at Michael's Flooring Outlet, led by Michael himself. He knows what he's doing, and he has built such a great local business here in St. Louis to help service your needs on either side of the river. Michael's Flooring Outlet is looking forward to working with you. You can visit any of their 3 locations, and you can find out all about the different types of inventory that they have in stock, how to get a free estimate, and about the different flooring options that they have online at igotfloored.com.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Nobody wants to miss the important things in life, and if it's because of bad vision, you don't have to. Mark Cox here from my friends at Brenton Vision. They can help you out. That's why I want you to take 2 minutes today to call my friends at Brenton at 314-375-2020 or go online to brentonvision.com. Your eyes are as unique as your fingerprint. Since Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri offering all 7 forms of modern vision correction, they can create a customized treatment plan just for your vision. They helped my wife out. She chose the lens replacement therapy and now sees better than ever, and she loves it. You can have that same experience with Brenton Vision. They accept flex plans and medical spending plans as well at Brenton. So don't let that money expire or go to waste. See your best. Do what we did. Call Brenton Vision at 314-375-2020 or schedule online right now at brentonvision.com.
Camping season is here, and Apache Village RV Center's open house May 6th and 7th is the perfect time to shop RVs from Jayco, Keystone, and Fleetwood. Family owned and operated for over 40 years. Apache Village Open House will offer huge discounts to fit every budget, plus special giveaways, Barbecue Friday, and the local famous Pueblo Nuevo catering on Saturday. The Apache Village Open House, May 6th and 7th, located in Hazelwood.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new HVAC system and save $50 to $250 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying products. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and Dependable Traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
My mind told me I should proceed with caution, but my heart said go ahead and make a bid on that. I said,
for a lot of vulnerable women who are poor, women of color, they will be forced to have pregnancies that they cannot afford to terminate, and pregnancies that will then turn into children that they cannot afford. And one other thing, someone told me here that Mississippi is the state that doesn't have a lot of safety nets, that the women who are going to be forced to have these children, they're going to have a really hard time trying to support those children with a state that has not done a lot of the things to extend the sort of benefits that women need in order to get more help and more care to be able to really support their families.
Did you hear NBC's Yumichi or whatever her name is there say pregnancies that turn into children?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only thing that really sticks out to me. And pregnancies that turn into children, when might that be? I would assume she would say birth. And if it doesn't, if a pregnancy doesn't turn into a child at birth, then I guess you can do whatever you want the entire time it is inside of the woman. Is that what she thinks? Well, that's what our YouTube poll question is today. Hannah's been hard at work on the YouTube live chat today. We appreciate that. What do we got today?
So the question is, abortion should be legal up to which point? Until birth, until 24 weeks, which was considered viability, first trimester only, or never/only extenuating circumstances. We have 154 votes in the poll. 81% of the people voted never/only extenuating circumstances. 15% of the people voted first trimester only. 2% voted until 24 weeks, and 2% voted until birth.
My vote in that would be only in extenuating circumstances. If you talk to people who, I guess probably OBs that care for women, there are very few instances where, actually, I've talked to them specifically myself. There are no instances where the baby needs to be, the life of the baby needs to be ended in order to save the life of the mother. You definitely could have to induce labor earlier, and maybe the baby doesn't survive in that instance. But the idea that you need to that cause an abortion to occur in order to save the life of the mother is not really how it works. It's kind of a jumbling of the words. So if you induce labor at 20 weeks because there's a circumstance where the mother's life is in danger and that baby doesn't survive the birth, I understand that, and I understand a woman and her significant other making that decision to induce that labor and hope for the best. But suggesting that, nope, we need to abort this baby so that the mom will be okay, it's not that simple. The other thing that people will say on a regular basis is, what about in cases of incest and rape? Well, if we're talking about abortion, generally speaking, 94% of abortions do not involve those extenuating circumstances. And we can consider those circumstances as exceptions if that means that we can work on the 94% of abortions that don't occur in that regard. We use abortion in our country today as birth control, and I have a huge problem with that. So I think I'm not terribly surprised. What was the first trimester only numbers?
First trimester only was 15%.
Okay, so it's more than the other two for sure.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, as of yesterday, we were talking about how I believe life begins at conception, and then we were going to have to do a crash course in the science on this, just because it's one of those things. I think we've all studied this in the past, but all of a sudden, wow, we got to really brush up on this now. And so I did yesterday a little bit at night, and one of the big stats that I found, or pieces of scientific information that I've forgotten, was that at conception, you are talking about a being that no longer has your same DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It has different DNA from you.
It's a human.
It's a different being.
Unique.
Yeah, it's a completely unique thing at the moment of conception. So I think there's a very strong scientific argument there that you're now talking about a thing that is no longer part of the woman's body. You're talking about a separate being.
What do you think, Brad?
I voted never. Even in like, and if I gave extenuating circumstances, it would have to be something medical along the lines of it would save the mother's life or something like that. But I don't even know what those extenuating circumstances are. And the only one that I've ever identified in my life was somebody that I knew that had pins in their back, and they had, is it scoliosis real bad? And that if they carried the baby to term, the pins would rupture out of their back. And my question is that this is an issue. Why are you not taking the proper precautions beforehand? Because this is something that is not, you're not going to be able to have a baby for your whole life. Why not just take the proper precautions beforehand so that you don't have to make that choice? So the only instance that I know of medically, personally, was some situation that could be completely avoided by taking the proper precautions beforehand. So I'm still of the mindset of never. I don't.
Were you saying like contraception?
Yeah.
So sometimes people use contraception and it doesn't work.
Yeah, but there's several different methods of it, and then that's, I guess, the other question is too, if that's
you could choose abstinence.
Well, yeah, you could just not.
It's an interesting debate, and I think, Annie, you were hitting on this very, very much so, and that is that when we debate these things, people who are pro-abortion, whether it be all the way up until birth or any part of it, will like to take the debate to those circumstances.
To the extremes.
And what Annie was saying, which is so true, if 94% of all abortions, I'm surprised it's not even higher than that, but if 94% are just birth control. There's no other circumstance involved. It's just, I want to end this.
I'm going to interject there and say that birth control can be like, this is my 6th abortion. Like, they don't go get medicine. They don't take, I can't take forms of birth control because of other medical issues that I have. So to suggest that maybe, let's say someone was pregnant and let's say their significant other died and it was too much of a burden to bear. That to me would fall under the idea of controlling the birth of that child, but it's a little different than birth control. But it's still a baby.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not talking about circumstance. Everybody's
got the 94%. Like the 94%.
That's what I mean.
I'm not saying that of those 94% is just people who are sleeping around and off in the baby. So I want to clarify.
You're talking about of the 6%, people who have legitimate medical
rape,
concerns,
incest, life of the mother,
things like that. And we we absolutely should debate the 94%. Then, if we can come to a consensus with the 94%, then let's talk about the 6. I'm not saying they don't exist concurrently, but you have to focus on the big issue here and not focus on just the small issue. But everybody who's a proponent of abortion wants to just focus on the small issue.
Yeah, I think that it is such a difficult topic to discuss, and Roe v. Wade has been the thing that has made it very easy to not discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's potentially going away. Did you have any comments you wanted to read here?
Yeah, let's see. Mark from YouTube says abortion should be allowed if and only if the mother is in danger of losing her life. If she goes through with the pregnancy, then it's up to the father and mother, not for birth control.
That's good. Yeah, good reaction.
James from YouTube says extenuating circumstances, but the money given to Planned Parenthood has to go towards adoption services.
That's the other part of this, and I will continue to reiterate this. We have to show up and help these women when they choose life. And, I'm not at all in favor of the government coming in and being the father for the family or the mother. But it generally seems like they want to replace the father and allow fathers to not be fathers, that they don't have to bear that burden. And now the government is truly coming in and trying to make it so that mothers don't have to be mothers. Like, you just don't even that doesn't have to exist. It's an irresponsible way to, manage humanity. It's wrong. But at the same time, we do have to understand that in these circumstances where these women are facing these issues, or potentially where men are facing these issues, that we have to show up in a way in a community and help them. And that's by helping adoption be so much more accessible and affordable for people who want to do it.
Here's a really good comment. STL Life 1950 says, "Love the Annie Frey show." Oh,
thank you.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice
That's
comment.
a nice
It might
comment.
be the first one today.
Tomorrow's poll: do you love the Annie Frey show?
Like
Which
this?
is me sitting in my chair at 10 o'clock going, Jared, I just need a poll question. Just give me any kind of poll question. And then I have to. It's like at 12:30 in the morning. I'm like, all right, fine, we'll do this one. So you can always vote in these. Pretty much, usually by 10 o'clock at night is when I have them done. Sometimes it's later, but I always tweet it out when I get it done. Tonight is the evening with the Heritage Foundation event. So if you have reserved seats with us, or if you're in the VIP area or whatever that means, we will see you tonight. But you can stream it on our socials. Make sure you subscribe to the Annie Frey Show. You'll see us when we go live. The Mark Reardon Show coming up next.
Looking to sell your house